We all love inspirational movies. They make us laugh, they make us cry, they make us cheer. We've all lost our fruit at underdogs triumphing in the face of adversity, or human propaganda movies that make it get all onions in here all of a sudden. And it's that surge of feeling that brings us back every single time. All together now, it ain't how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and this is the 10 most inspiring movies of all time. Number 10, Friday Night Lights. The brilliant TV series might be remembered more fondly and more definitively, but the film that inspired it is just as excellent. Based on the 1988 book, it's a tightly condensed version of the later series, following the Panthers as they try to make the state finals, but through the eyes of coach Gary Gaines, have to deal with bullying, racism, and parental pressures. The film examines the hopes and dreams of these young men as they realize their college careers are coming to an end and the prospect of no longer being classed as heroes by the town. Billy Bob Thornton is exceptional as Gaines, but that sort of goes without saying, and it's the iconic speech that really sticks out. Number 9, Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner was at his Hollywood peak when he made this fantasy baseball drama that focused as much on the ghosts of the past as it did on those of the present. It's basically this generation's It's a Wonderful Life, all about dreaming and also hitting balls and rebuilding the past for those that come. Costner plays Ray, a local farmer who we quickly discover had a poor relationship with his dad. One night in the cornfields, Ray hears a voice whispering, "If you build it, he will come." From there, Ray begins to see baseball players of the past, including shoeless Joe Jackson, a band player from the 1919 Black Sox match-fixing scandal. It all leads up to a baseball game and a reunion with his father, the Ray was told would come. This is a film which wears its heart on its sleeve, and Costner has never been better as the Midwest everyman who simply wants his daddy back. Number 8, Billy Elliot. Since Billy Elliot's original release, it's taken on a life of its own both on the screen and on the stage. Playwright, screenwriter Lee Hall and the first-time film director Stephen Daldry crafted a political film with both heart and fire as one boy's dream drags him out of the violent shell of the miners' strike. Against a demoralized backdrop, wounded by pit closures and loss of identity, and in a ballet class run by Mrs. Wilkinson, played by Julie Walters. She's great, Julie Walters, you're always great. Billy finds his own affirmation and identity. It all sounds terribly cliched, but it's so masterfully made that its message still sings to this day, and if you can't be inspired by watching Billy dance excitedly over the cobbles, you're definitely at least a little bit dead inside. Number 7, Forrest Gump. It's easy to mock this American epic as a sickly sweet by-the-numbers fictional romance, but Robert Zemeckis perfectly crafts a film that is both emotional and inspirational. Gumps is an extraordinary life, which takes in running, American football, running JFK, running the Vietnam War, exposing the Watergate scandal, but all are just chapters to frame the actual story of his love for Jenny, a girl he meets who grows into a woman who lives from one tragedy to the other. Also, he loves running. Fundamentally, it's a story about triumph over expectations and the delightful message that life is what you make of it. It's not that it's a box of chocolates, it's that you have a choice over which you eat. And the scene when he meets his son, I'm sorry, I can't go on. Number 6, Schindler's List. When Steven Spielberg took on the 1982 Booker Prize winner, many thought this was a story well beyond him. Hell, this was the man who was also directing some movie about dinosaurs the very same year, and how wrong people were. The story of Oskar Schindler is now, thanks to this film, a universal one. It's a story about one man's stand against a seemingly unending tide of tyranny and inhumanity, expertly crafted in Ralph Fiennes' despicable but a brief synopsis really doesn't do justice to the overriding emotion in the film. To act with such courage in the face of this violence is the heart of the movie, and one which drives the story forward to the moment when the Jewish workers give a tearful, ashamed Schindler a ring with the engraving, "Whoever saves one life saves the world entire." Number 5, To Kill a Mockingbird. Gregory Peck, an actor who represented the American dream and who, in Atticus Finch, showed us a man who would fight injustice with dignity, strength, and most of all, politeness. Sadly, this is a film that most of us were forced to watch in school, which is absolutely not the best way to enjoy any film, but go back to it now and you'll find a stunning, inspirational work. The story of a young black man, Tom Robinson, accused of raping and beating a young white girl, is an important watershed moment dealing with race, childhood, and the views of those we don't understand. The white people in the town believe they're above any black person, so when Tom says he felt sorry for the young girl, that angers the white folk more than the apparent attack. Atticus is the beating heart to the whole film though, and with Boo Radley as his opposite, it's clear this is a film about acceptance in trying times. Number 4, Dead Poet Society. Dead Poet Society is one of the most emotional films about education and the rights of young people to have a say in their own lives that you will ever see. Add to this the truly tragic passing of Robin Williams and the emotion becomes unbearable. The story focuses on a young group of prep school pupils as they meet their new English teacher, John Keating. His impact on the students is huge, and the boys discover love, life, and tragically for one of them, a love of acting. After the tragedy of a student's suicide, Keating is blamed and fired from the academy academy, but not before the boys can stand on their desks one last time and say, "Oh captain, my captain," as their mentor leaves the school forever. This is a film that will make you both cry and want to stand up and take on the world, and one that inspires as much as it hurts. And for that, we stand on all of our desks and salute Robin Williams. Number 3, Rocky. There have been several sports films on this list, but in Rocky we have one of the most inspirational of underdog stories. The fact that this low-budget film still resonates as strongly as it does today, nearly 40 years later, speaks volumes. Rocky is someone we can truly root for and maybe, just maybe, see a little bit of ourselves in the no-hope pugilist. Rocky Balboa is a small-time boxer and loan shark enforcer with a heart of gold. He's not had any breaks in life. In fact, we see him regularly beaten down, but still wakes every morning with the hope of wooing shy pet shop worker Adrian. The film is inspirational enough, but when you add the other elements like the first round knockdown, the in-ring declaration of love, and of course, Gonna Fly Now, you have a film not only excellent in essence, but also inspiring. Tie this in with the fact that in real life, Rocky was actually writer-actor Sylvester Stallone's last chance in Hollywood, and the Best Film Oscar tells its own story of triumph. Number 2, The Shawshank Redemption. The beloved Shawshank Redemption is the archetypical endurance in the face of adversity movie. It's about hopes and dreams, even in the worst circumstances, of resilience and defiance despite the irresistible appeal of giving up. It's about Andy Dufresne, a tall drink of water wrongly accused of murder, finding his strength despite having everything taken away from him. Dufresne's story is one that resonates precisely because of the injustice he faces, and the film expertly layers it on thick to the point of absolute despair when Andy's student is murdered to cover up information that would free him. It's a hard yet heartwarming classic about friendship, and there's no finer metaphor for dealing with life than Andy's crawl through a river of shit to come out clean on the other side. And number 1, It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, maybe this one's obvious. Maybe the fact that the longevity of this film has transcended the decade it was made is still considered a festive classic. It can still make little children and grown adults cry and laugh, shows that sometimes latency is no bad thing. Though it is remembered as a heartwarming experience, the film is actually an exercise in endurance. It's about misery and about the reasons we all accept misery, whether it's family, love, community. It's not like George's life really changes by the end, but his mentality does. His message is very much one of grin, bear it, and see the beauty in all of life. Thank you, Clarence, and thank you, George. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.